What should you do? Stay tuned. This is Damon Cart with NLP Gym. What should I do with my career, my relationship, with my life in general? If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Plenty of people have probably given you plenty of unsolicited advice about what you should do with your relationship, your career, and your life in general. When you were a child, you were told exactly what you should do and what you should not do. So that by the time you're a young adult, you are lacking in your own personal experience because you're very young, but you have a lot of information in there about all the things you should do, all the things you must do, all the things you have to do, all the things you should not do. It can be hard to know even what it is that you want personally because you've been told so much about what you should want and what you should not want. And because you're lacking that experience to connect that to, you have your own wants, but with that lack of experience, you don't know if that's what you actually want. You can only sort of fantasize or imagine what it is getting what you want, and then through that somehow navigating all the shoulds and should nots of what you've been told and what you've been taught. The result of all of this is we typically doubt what it is that we want. By the time we're a young adult, we doubt our heart. We may even worry about what it would be like to take a chance on what it is that we want. But we fear all those, if things don't work out, if we screw up, if we fail, we fear all those shoulds coming back and beating us up and being totally humiliated because we had been told that's not what we should want. So acting on that and then failing on that, or things not working out, that can be a very scary thing. In NLP, words like need to, have to, should not, must, these are all what we call modal operators. This comes from the very first NLP model called the meta model. And what modal operators indicate, if you're using this in your own language or you hear someone else using it in their language, this is a limitation. You or the other person is exposing a limitation in your map of reality. The other thing that it is an indication of information that you took from being parented. And in a sense, when we're grown up and we start using these words, we're sort of splitting ourselves in two in parenting ourselves. So we're both parent and child. And what this does is it creates a divide. And this is not the place where you want to make decisions and choices from. You want to make decisions and choices from a place of wholeness, of congruence, and of connectedness. You want to come from a place of wholeness, connection, and congruence, not this divide of I'm the parent and I'm the child and I'm going back and forth on trying to decide what's right for me. So what should you do if you follow your heart and you try something, you take an action, you take a step into something, and you fail or it doesn't work out? Well, first know that this is normal. Nobody succeeds at everything that they do. And what you might realize is it wasn't exactly what you thought it was, and maybe you realize, it's not for you. What you thought your heart was saying, or what you thought your heart wanted, in reality, once you tried it, that's not actually what you wanted. And that's okay. And then you can go back to what you were doing before. Maybe the other thing that you realize is that you just need a different strategy. That what you thought would work to get what you want didn't work. You still want what you want. It's just the strategy you used to get that didn't work out. So you just changed strategies. The other wonderful thing that you can learn is that maybe that just wasn't right for you. But in doing that and in failing at it, you realize there's something completely different that you want now. That in failing at that, it made you realize that you need to go in a different direction. I've had this happen so many times in my life. Basically, look at it like this. You can't lose. It's not really failing if you learn something. Learning something in real life experience, not just something you learn in a classroom, is priceless. If you don't try things, if you don't get out there and try things and fail at different ventures, how are you ever going to know what you truly want? What you think you want just stays all inside of you. You need to bring that out into the world by taking some risks, by getting out there and trying things. If you only stick to the shoulds, the should nots, the have tos, the need to, the must. If you only stick to these things, the boundaries of your map of reality that was handed to you by adults that you were growing up with, your parents, teachers, society, what have you, you are going to live a very limited life, of very limited experiences. You will have many unfulfilled desires, and your potential will go unfulfilled. This, to me, has been the ultimate suffering that I've experienced in my life. I can't speak for other people, but I know I can speak for a lot of people. By not getting out there and doing what I want to do, or at least trying, or following my desires, following my heart, that has been the result of that has been the most intense suffering that I've ever experienced. Sure, it doesn't feel good to fail. It does not feel good when I go out there to do something and it doesn't work out. But that's just really temporary, and the learning that comes from that, it revitalizes me. So when I go out there and I do something and I fail at it, okay, yeah, it's a temporary disappointment, it's a temporary setback. But nothing is more powerful and intense of suffering than unfulfilled desires, unfulfilled potential, and worst of all, regret, because you can't go back and do something over again. What you're going to find that you regret, the older you get, I know this has been my experience, the older I get, the fewer things I regret that I did, and the more things I regret that I didn't do. You're not going to regret so much the things that you did, unless you did something really, really horrible, and purposefully so. The things that you're going to regret are not the screw-ups. You're not going to regret the failures so much. You're going to regret not trying. So how do you counter modal operators? Well, if you catch yourself thinking this way, if you catch yourself thinking, I should do this, I shouldn't do that, I need to do this, I need to do that, or I must, or I have to, challenge that by saying, what if? So if I say to myself, well, I should go and follow what my parents want me to do in my career, ask yourself, what if you didn't? What if you did something else? What if you did what you wanted to do? So use your imagination to get outside of those boundaries. Oh, I need to be in a long-term relationship right now, or I need to get married. Well, what if you didn't? What if you traveled the world instead? And then come back and see about getting married. Just ask the question, what if? What would it be like if you did something different? What would it be like if you didn't do the thing that you feel like you need to do or that you have to do? And start thinking in terms of possibility. Modal operators indicate limitation. You counter that by using a what if, which introduces more possibility. So instead of thinking in terms of limitation, train your mind to think in terms of possibility. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. Follow me on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops and free practice sessions that I hold right here in Santa Cruz, California. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave me a comment or a question. I will get back to you. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can see how you can get your hands on a free NLP online training. Take care.